Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Sunday Night Mixed Media Backgrounds. Now, usually I just kind of go at it and do whatever I want to do, but in this case, I want to kind of plan ahead for what my layout will be tomorrow. So I am going to be scrapbooking this photograph because of there was like some big internet shutdown. Do you guys remember when that company put out the patch to all the companies on a Friday night and things didn't work for a hot minute? Do you guys remember that? Well, that was around this time. And some of the airlines could not function, and we actually got bussed out to get on the plane. I say we, but it was just me on this flight. So I got bussed out with the other passengers for this. So this is that photograph documenting that. And my background is going to be something with airplanes. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, for this one, I got out my little splatter box because I felt like this might have been the thing to do because I'm using these color bursts. Now, you're supposed to wet down your paper and you can sprinkle these on here. There's a couple different ways, right? You can spritz your paper, sprinkle it with this, and it will explode. Now, I'm not using watercolor paper, so it did not explode like I've had results in the past. I'm just using a cheap piece of white cardstock. So I decided, you know what, I'll spritz my water on top of it. And it's like magic. Look at all of the color that's just kind of popping out there. Now, this blue color definitely has a lot of purple in it. And then I brought in this neon green color, which is actually called cabbage. And then you can see that there are other colors in there besides the green as well. I did this because this is an Alaska airplane that I was on, so I was doing the blue and the green. I'm not exactly completely and totally thrilled with how my background is coming up along. I should have used the watercolor paper. It would have burst so much more beautifully. But I do like what I ended up coming up with. So instead of leaving it like this, I go get, what is this called? Shimmer Mist in Pearl from Brutus Monroe. And I'm shaking it right now if you can hear that. Let's just say this sucker clogged up something fierce. So I do stop after a hot minute and I go unclog the bottle. And that consisted of dumping the entire contents into another bottle, cleaning out the bottle because there was some hardened bits of shimmer at the bottom of that bottle. Hot water did the trick, you guys. And then cleaning the nozzle and the inside of the nozzle. It was just a whole situation. It just got gunked up in there. So I finally get that cleaned out and bring it over to the paper. The paper's still wet, but there was no puddles of water anymore. It had soaked in and or evaporated. So I'm taking the shimmer mist now and I am shimmering all over the paper. I like this for two reasons. It gives that background paper the shimmer, because, you know, that's what it's supposed to do. And it's also toning down the colors a little bit. Because like I said, I wasn't entirely pleased with how the colors were going to come out. So now I'm going to put that to the side and use my bubble paper here. So this bubble paper, as you can tell, has been used multiple times and it's still giving me bubble results. So I will keep on using it until it no longer gives me those bubble results. Now, fun fact, I'm not even going to use the airplane stencil because the layout is wet and it needs to dry before I do the stenciling on top. So that'll be for tomorrow when I actually create the layout. So I got another piece of white paper. This is actually a textured sheet of white cardstock. And I grabbed some of my acrylic paints, which are Liquitex. And I am just putting some blue and some white all down on here. Now, I should have stopped while I was ahead. I used my silicone brush to paint this paint all over the paper. The good thing is that it will dry beautifully. It will make a beautiful background. That's actually pretty sure that's how I got into mixed media, was I painted my own backgrounds. I think I still have one that I have not used actually from a long time ago. I should have stopped spreading this because the blue and the white just kept modeling together to create the one blue color. And I really liked it before when it was stripy. However, my goal was to get to paint all over the layout instead of paying attention to the color. So I do add some more of the dark blue in here. And ultimately, I am happy with how this turns out. So I've got this down. I'm going to grab that bubble paper and then, I guess I added a little bit more blue. I'm going to grab that bubble paper and press it down over top of this paper. What this is going to do is give me the background, this as a background that I can use, because when the bubble pulls off, it's going to leave that textured design behind. And then what will happen is I will take the bubble paper right here. As you can see, we're like pressing it down, just smoothing it over. This is all acrylic paint on my hand, so it's going to wash off so easily. Tomorrow I won't be going to work with stained hands like I usually do from Sunday night mixed media backgrounds. So now that is ready to go, right? So I'm going to push this off to the side. Then I am going to go ahead and put my bubble print over top of this. Now the bubble print, I thought I was going to line it up pretty nicely by doing this, but I don't get it exactly where I want it to. As you can see, it is crooked and there is a good bit not covered up by the bubble paper. That's okay. I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of pressure here to make sure that that paint gets off of the bubbles and onto the paper. And we're going to peel that off and look at that. I kind of love this. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to pick this up. Now remember, this paper is wet. It's pretty wet. I put it off to the side. It gets placed on my trimmer, which now has paint all over it. Wow, it really does. I need to wipe that off. And then I'm going to put it on top of the box so that I can add that little bit of bubble wrap on the edge. So that it doesn't have this awkward gap. Once I put that down and pull it up, I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. This is great. Now I just have to let it dry, right? There's lots of layers of wetness on here and it just has to dry so that I can use the up and away stencil, which is still there for you to check out and see. But then I'm going to show you, that the stencil will go on top of it. So I don't know why I felt the need to show you that I was going to stencil on top of it, but this needed to go on the cardboard so that it could dry. And I needed to bring the other one over as well. So as you can see, I'm like, all right, and I'll put some of those on there. And then I'm like, you know what? You need to see an up close of these because these are actually pretty freaking cool. So we'll see which one I use tomorrow. Could be either one. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.